Later that night the group made their way to the Beak clan's dining hall, and the cooks brought out their dinner. Tak started eating, and he praised the Beak clan's cook saying the food is outstanding. Yigang agreed and says the Beak clan hired the cook from Beijing. Seongchan appeared and he told Yigang that the Moyang guys are arrogant and deceitful, and he reminded him that they couldn't be trusted. Yigang told Seongchan that he would keep that in mind, and Seongchan told Yigang that he should, since he is saying this for his own good. Manhwa, who was sitting beside Yigang, quickly picked up a piece of chicken with her chopsticks and she tried to feed it to Yigang. Confused, Yigang asked what she was doing. Manhwa told him that she was trying to feed him a piece of chicken, and she asked Yigang to open his mouth. Yigang was still puzzled, but he decided to allow Manhwa to feed him. He guessed that this was normal behavior to her. Manhwa asked what he thought about the food, and Yigang said it's good. He turned around to the others and saw their shocked faces, and he quickly realized that what just happened wasn't normal behavior. Seeing the faces of the others made Seongchan burst out laughing. He began to wonder why Yigang just accepted the feeding so easily. Yigang quickly turned to Manhwa and he thanked her for feeding him, but says he can eat on his own. Jin grunted angrily and says what Yigang just did was unmanly. Yigang turned his attention to Jin, wondering if he was jealous. Yigang quickly picked up his chopsticks and he pointed it at Jin. He told him that his behavior is rather arrogant and says he is shaming his older brother. Jin tried to defend himself and he asked Yigang why he was bringing Tak into this. Yigang shook his head in disappointment, saying he is polite to Tak because he is older, but his own younger brother is refusing to show respect. Jin tried to defend himself again, saying Hajun is also not respectful to Tak. Tak quickly interrupted his younger brother, agreeing with what Yigang was saying. Jin was about to say something to defend himself, but he stopped after seeing his brother's condescending smile. Jin started sweating nervously, and even though he didn't want to, he apologized to Yigang. Seongchan giggled and he told Yigang that he is quite the bully. Yigang responded saying he just wanted to see how Tak would react. He observed Tak and became disappointed because Tak's reaction was rather tame. The Moyang clan's patriarchs, the scholar's sword's son, pleasant-faced wolf with a sword Moyang Tak. His star cloud sword technique is renowned for being very deadly. He is also known to be always smiling, but he harbors a deep cruelty inside him, so it is recommended that anyone who comes in contact with him be cautious. That is what Yigang read in the House X documents. Tak was also smiling right now, but Yigang wanted to know what he's actually thinking about. Seongchan reminded Yigang that there is someone who he should be focusing on. Yigang was quickly reminded of his goal and he turned his attention to Chengrim's disciple Leon. Leon became nervous because Yigang was suddenly looking at her. Later that night after the dinner, Leon and Manhwa made their way to their room. After entering, Manhwa says she had a lot of fun today. She quickly laid on the bed and Leon asked her if she really had fun. Manhwa says it was fun because the Beak clan's patriarch was super cool, and she even got to see a duel. But she felt a bit bad for Jin. This confused Leon because she thought Manhwa hated Jin. Manhwa explained that Jin isn't terrible at fighting, so if he did his best he wouldn't have lost so easily. But because he was so nervous he lost despite having gotten the first strike. Recalling the fight, Manhwa became excited. She sprung from the bed saying she would have won against the both of them if she had fought. Leon smiled. She expected this from Manhwa since she is a competitive person, and she concluded that Manhwa really wanted to join the fight. Manhwa suddenly sighed and said it's disappointing that Yigang was staring at Leon instead of her. Leon acted shocked like she hadn't noticed Yigang staring. She concluded that Yigang was staring because they met the day before. Manhwa sadly asked Leon if Yigang was in love with her. This question surprised Leon and she told Manhwa that what she was saying would be impossible. Suddenly there was a knock on their room door and the messenger asked if it's okay for him to enter. Leon allowed the messenger to enter, and the messenger entered and quickly reported that Yigang wanted to see Leon. This confused Leon and she pointed at herself, asking the guard if he meant her. The guard confirmed that she was the one Yigang wanted to see and he said Yigang was waiting in the garden right now. Leon turned to Manhwa trying to tell her that she will be back soon. However, Manhwa was devastated. Leon told her that this isn't what she thought it was. A little while later, after having a hard time calming Manhwa down, Leon was finally able to leave without Manhwa wanting to tag along. When she arrived, she saw Yigang on a small bridge staring at the moon. He turned around quickly and he said to her that he was waiting for quite a while. Leon observed that Yigang looks more like a scholar who likes to read rather than a disciple of a martial arts family, which was exactly Manhwa's type. She quickly apologized to Yigang for being late and for spying on him the last time. Yigang accepted her apology but says he wants to know why she was following him. Leon quickly explained to Yigang that a bracelet that reacts when near a divine or mysterious thing reacted when he was close by. Surprised, Yigang asked if he could see this mystical bracelet. Leon told Yigang that the bracelet broke back then, so she couldn't show him. Yigang thought this was a shame because the bracelet had piqued his interest. Leon apologized to Yigang. She says there is nothing that she can do about the bracelet. She also told him that she doesn't know why the bracelet vibrated when Yigang was around. Yiging chuckled, and he proudly told Leon that the bracelet vibrated because of his mystical powers. This made Leon nervous and she wondered if Yiging was calling himself divine. Yiging reached into his pocket saying if it wasn't his mystical powers, then perhaps it's the relic he has. He took out the necklace he got previously and he asked Leon if she recognizes it. He says the relic represents a promise between Chingrim and the divine immortal blade. Leon quickly recognized the necklace and was in shock. Seongchan proudly reminded Yiging that he told him Leon would be shocked if he showed her the necklace. In shock, Leon began to question why the divine immortal blade has their token. Yiging asked Leon if the token allows him to ask for a favor. This further confused Leon and she asked Yiging what he means by favor. Yiging told her that he read in a book that if he shows this token, Chingrim will grant him a favor. Leon told Yiging that she has never heard anything like that before. Yiging angrily glared at Seongchan asking if he didn't say Chingrim would grant him a favor. Seongchan laughed it off saying this is very strange. Leon asked Yiging if she could take a look at the necklace for a second. Yiging handed it to her. Leon wrapped the excess of her clothes around her hand and she held the necklace. She asked Yiging how he is able to hold such a dangerous item with his bare hands. Yiging was shocked and he asked Leon what she means by dangerous. Leon asked Yiging if he didn't know the necklace was dangerous. Yiging angrily glared at Seongchan again asking why he is just now finding out that the necklace is dangerous. Seongchan laughed it off saying he didn't think it was dangerous because he didn't have any trouble with it. Leon explained that Pixu possesses a very strong gold kai, and if Yiging was to wear the necklace something bad would happen. Curious, Yiging asked Leon to tell him what would happen. Leon told him that his body might erode from the strong gold kai, or he could go crazy. Again Yiging angrily turned to Seongchan and he asked if that was the case. Seongchan couldn't laugh this off. He began to sweat nervously. Yiging told Leon that he has been wearing the necklace, and he asked why the necklace didn't affect him. Leon thought this was strange. She activated the wise mind arts on the necklace, which Seongchan quickly recognized. Yiging asked Seongchan if he knew this technique. Seongchan said yes and he explained that it's Chingrim's secret arts that uses the central energy core to manage innate core energy, and if Yiging could learn this technique then even him would be able to use innate core energy. Yiging became excited and he thought maybe he could learn this technique. However, Seongchan told him the technique would be impossible to learn because even if he showed her the token and asked for the technique she wouldn't teach it to him. Leon grabbed the Pixu's eye with her bare hands and she started to infuse her inner core into the Pixu's eye. As this continued on, the Pixu's eye got hot and it started to burn her hands, causing her great pain. This concerned Yiging and he asked her if she was okay. Leon finished and she told Yiging not to worry. She opened her hands and observed the necklace. She could see the mark of the former patriarch, which means Yiging was correct. She handed him back the necklace and said she repressed the gold kai, so he should be able to use its real powers now. Yiging asked how he could use the necklace's real powers, and Leon explained that he would just have to concentrate his innate core energy. Yiging laughed and said it seems he won't be able to use the necklace then, since he has Taiyan Kai blockage. Yiging put on the necklace and he asked Leon if he could ask for his favor now, and Leon says she would do her best to fulfill his request as long as it's something Chingrim can do. Yiging told her that he wants to fix his Taiyan Kai blockage. He says he knows the Chingrim master is said to have one of the best Kai arts, and he asked Leon if she could help him meet Chingrim's master. Leon could see that Yiging was determined to live, and that his feelings were genuine. She wasn't sure if it's possible, but she told Yiging that she will try her very best. Since she agreed, Yiging said they should go to the patriarch tomorrow so he could get permission for him to leave. Leon nervously asked why she had to go with him, and Yiging says he needs her in order to get the patriarch's permission. Leon was starting to regret her decision of helping Yiging because he wanted to bring her along to ask something from someone that's nicknamed Iron Blood. Inside Tax and Jin's room, Tax slapped Jin. He asked Jin how he could lose after preparing for the Heaven and Earth Blade. Jin apologized and said he let his guard down. Tak couldn't believe that Jin has the same blood running through his veins. He asked Jin what he plans on doing now, and Jin says the next time he and Hajin fight he will win for sure. Tak hugged Jin. He told him that he mustn't forget to steal the Beak clan's sword at the sword seizure duels, and get revenge on the Beak clan for taking the Moyang clan's sword. Tak smiled menacingly. His true intention was to gain some credit for having taught Jin, when he proves that the Moyang clan is superior to the Beak clan. Tak told Jin that he must crush Hajin in public. Jin accepted and Tak grabbed his shoulders saying he will set up the stage for his brother. The next day a servant entered Yiging's room to inform him that someone was looking for him. The servant added that the ones who were looking for Yiging said they had something to give him. Yiging was a little annoyed. He wondered what kind of valuables this person had for them to be visiting him so early in the morning. The servant told Yiging that the ones who were asking for him said he left a jeweled hair stick at the top of the golden pavilion. Yiging started to wonder if the ones who were asking for him were from the Hal sect, and if it was them he wondered why they would be reaching out to him. He told the servant to inform his visitors that he will be out soon. Later, after coming out of his room, Yigang saw Yoongu, who was accompanied by a lady. Yoongu noticed Yigang and he waved at him. Yigang approached Yoongu saying it's been a while since they last talked. Yigang asked his guards if they could back off since he had something to discuss with Yoongu. The guards refused, so Yigang told them to stay far away, to the point where they wouldn't be able to hear the conversation. After the guards moved away, Yigang told Yoongu that he didn't order the house sect to visit him, and he asked why they were behaving so rudely. Yoongu lowered his head and apologized. As he was about to explain why they had to visit, the lady beside him stepped up saying she will apologize in Yoongu's stead. Jiam, the branch leader of the house sect Zion branch, introduced herself to Yigang and says they received a request that might be harmful to Yigang, so they had to visit him as quickly as possible. She took out the documents related to the request and she handed it to Yigang. Yigang was suspicious, and he asked Jiam why she was doing this when the house sect aren't usually justice warriors. Jiam said the house sect is a rather petty group, but they have a rule, and that is to pay back good deeds that were done to them. If it's something that could harm him, Yigang decided he should take a look right away. He opened the documents and he started reading the request. The client that made this request was Tak Moyong. A month from now, he wanted the house sect to rent the entire 4th floor of the top golden pavilion for a banquet. 30 seats, heavily scented drinks and food, and a dual stage in the middle was required. Yigang started to wonder what Tak would do if his brother were to lose, since he was setting up such a big stage, and he questioned where Tak was getting this confidence from. Jiam told Yigang that recently one of the house sect members witnessed Tak secretly buying medicine that was assumed to be energy-dissipating poison. Seeing how Tak emphasized that the house sect would prepare heavily scented food and drink, made Yigang conclude that he was planning to feed the poison to Hajun. Yigang held the documents tightly and he praised Tak for coming up with a clever scheme. Yigang asked Jiam why they didn't just reject Tak's request. Jiam told him it would be hard to reject Tak's request given the house sect's situation. Yigang realized that the house sect already accepted the money, and they also couldn't reject the request of the second young lord of the Moyong clan, and that is why they came to him. Yigang started to think about how he could handle this situation. He came to the conclusion that he should make this into a bigger deal. Later at Rusin's residence, Yigang informed his father that he wanted to go meet the patriarch of Chengrim. While Rusin thought about what Yigang just said, Yigang noticed that wolf's bane, cinnamon, and ephedra were being boiled in a teapot, and the smoke was filling the room acting as a pain reliever. Yigang concluded that his father's lung disease must have worsened, which would explain why he wanted to hurry and make Hajun the young leader. After a while of thinking, Rusin told Yigang that he would not permit him to leave. This shocked Yigang and he told his father that he was going to see if he could get his Kai blockage fixed. Rusin told Yigang that Chengrim is far away, and he doesn't want him to waste his time and effort. Leon told Rusin that her patriarch possesses deep knowledge in the Kai arts, so she was sure he'll be of help to Yigang. Rusin asked Leon why she felt like she had the right to say this when she has no way of guaranteeing that Yigang will receive help. This made Leon apologize. Thinking back to the time he listened in on his father while he was trying to get medicine for Kai blockage, made Yigang understand why Rusin was reacting this way. Rusin hasn't been able to fix Yigang's Kai blockage no matter what he did, and he is worried that Yigang will go to Chengrim and end up getting worse. Yigang understood this, but he couldn't back down from this. He stood up and told his father that he will go even if he is not permitted to do so. He told Rusin that he is trying to save his own life, so he shouldn't try to stop him. This angered Rusin and he released his mana, saying how dare Yigang speak to him this way when he is too weak to stand in front of him. Rusin's mana was so strong that even Leon was having difficulties. She turned to Yigang to see how he was handling the surge of energy, and to her surprise Yigang was still standing. Yigang was standing by willpower alone. He told his father that he had to go. Xiangchen advised Yigang to make his body heavy and wrap armor around his mind. That way even the sword of the mind will not be able to slay his mind. Yigang took Xiangchen's advice, and after doing what Xiangchen said, he began to approach his dad, saying he knows why he is not permitting it. Yigang said it makes sense that Rusin lost hope after feeding him the snow ginseng, and still not seeing any improvement. This shocked Rusin and he wondered how Yigang was able to find out about the snow ginseng. Yigang continued saying he refuses to give up even if Rusin has. He told Rusin that he understands why he would be worried, but he does not intend on sitting around waiting for the day he dies. Rusin stared at his son questioning. When he matured so much, Rusin stopped releasing his mana, and Yigang dropped to his knees. Xiangchen praised Yigang for enduring for that long, and Rusin told Yigang that he can do what he wants, but he has to become closer friends with the kids of Moyong before he goes. This surprised Yigang and he asked why. Rusin explained that the Moyong and the Beak clan are not on good terms. He said when he was younger he participated in a sword-seizing duel with the scholar's sword, and now that they are both patriarchs, it's making it hard and awkward for them to make up. Yiging questioned why they would still be bothered by a duel that happened a while ago, and Ryusen says the Moyongs are rather petty, they never let go of a grudge. Even though he didn't want to, Yiging said he will do it for Hajun's sake. Ryusen told him he didn't ask for Hajun's sake, he asked for his own. He reminded Yiging that he currently has 0 friends. With this, Ryusen excused them. But before leaving, Yiging says he would like to talk, just the two of them. There is one more thing he wanted to ask his father for. 2 weeks later, inside the Ruby training hall, Jin and Hajun were training. After using his sword technique a few times, Jin stopped and wiped the sweat on his forehead. As he expected, the Ruby training hall was a great place to train. Even though he used quite a bit of his core energy, he still felt like he could keep on going. The sword technique he used just now was pretty good, so he turned to see if Hajun was watching. However, much to his surprise, Hajun was too busy practicing his own sword technique to notice Jin's. This angered Jin, and he questioned if it wasn't normal to be interested in watching what the other is doing if you're training alongside your rival. He glared at Hajun. He has gotten pretty used to Hajun's techniques and was sure that if they fought again he would win. Hajun noticed Jin staring. He stopped his training and faced Jin, asking why he was staring at him. Jin said he was just wondering if Yiging is coming to train. Hajun told Jin that Yiging is probably busy. Jin giggled and he asked if he was sure Yiging wasn't just sick. Hajun glared at Jin angrily, asking him to watch his mouth. Jin asked Hajun why he is getting so angry when it's true that his brother is weak. Hajun told Jin that Yiging is very strong, so strong that he won against him before. This surprised Jin. Hajun continued on saying he couldn't even put a hand on his body, and at the end he was sent flying from a single punch. Jin couldn't believe it, and he said Hajun must be lying. Hajun said he wasn't, and he told Jin that he is busy with his training so he should stop talking to him. Hajun decided not to tell Jin that when this happened he and Yiging was playing a game of Capture the Goblin. Suddenly Yiging entered the Ruby training hall, surprised to see Jin and Hajun training. Hajun quickly ran towards him, asking if he was here to train. Yiging said yes, and he told Hajun that he had rested quite a bit. He asked Hajun to have a sword duel with him since it's been a while. Hajun hesitated. He asked Yiging if he was in good enough shape for a duel. Yiging told Hajun that he was feeling much better. Hajun got closer and he whispered in Yiging's ears, saying Jin was watching them. Yiging told Hajun that he doesn't care, and he asked him to get ready. Jin turned his attention to the two brothers. He thought it would be a good fight since Hajun was hesitating to fight. Hajun grabbed a wooden sword and he approached the center of the Ruby training hall. Before the duel started, Yiging told Hajun not to go easy on him. And as soon as the battle started, Hajun rushed at Yiging with a lateral slash. Yiging dodged and prepared to counter. This surprised Jin because Yiging was doing pretty good for someone who is supposed to have a sickly body. Hajun stopped his momentum from swinging his sword, and he hit Yiging's wrist, forcing him to drop the sword. Then he finished it with another lateral slash. Suddenly afterwards, Yiging started coughing blood, and Hajun regretted what he just did. He rushed over quickly to check on Yiging. Jin was left completely speechless. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button.